Hi, everyone. I'm back again to bring you today's challenge, January 6, 2025, your sales challenge. And it's all about reinventing yourself. Now, a lot of people are surprised when I share with them that my natural tendency is to be an introvert. Well, being an introvert doesn't always work out so well in sales, does it? So, decades ago, I had to reinvent myself in order to survive in selling. And I did some radical changes that really helped me to sell more. And today, I want to go over what I did in order to accomplish this. There are lots of introverts out there that are in sales. And typically, people that are introverts, we do really well one on one, where we don't do so well when we're in front of a group of people or whether we have to stand up and do a group presentation or networking. Oh my, networking was painful for me. I was the one that would go into the networking event and then I'd hug the wall. I was literally the wallflower in the room, right? And in order to get out of my comfort zone, which is all it is, it's your comfort zone, I had to reinvent myself. Now, this all came back to light when I think it was a few weeks ago someone had made a post on LinkedIn that if you're a introvert, it's nothing more than a mindset shift. And I disagreed with that. I think most introverts will tell you that they cannot fundamentally change who they are to be an extrovert. But what we can do is manage our natural tendencies, and this is what I want to show you how to do. Okay. So when I got serious about I needed to change things up or I was going to fail at every sales job I was in, I was going to fail if I didn't radically change so that I could sell more. I'm still fighting this cold, everyone. It's not going to get the best of me. So, one of the things I did, and men and women, you can do this. Pick someone that you really admire. Someone you really admire. Someone that has traits that maybe you'd like to cultivate in yourself. I can't remember who said that, but who said this, but this person said that when they wanted to radically change how they did business, they started reading autobiographies of people, of famous people, presidents, um, famous people that have really succeeded in life. Because in those autobiographies were clues about how these people operated in real life. You got to know how the world works, right? And in sales, the sales world works by being curious, by being engaged, and by putting yourself forward. I never wanted to be that sideline person, but yet I found myself years ago sitting on the sidelines watching everybody else do really well. So I picked two people who I admired, Dolly Parton and Joan Rivers. Crazy, right? Dolly Parton and Joan Rivers. What I wanted to extract from Dolly Parton was her audacious confidence. I mean, she was a nobody when she went into Nashville, but that didn't stop her. That didn't stop her from living her dream. And of course, her story is phenomenal. Well, what I wanted from Joan Rivers is not only how classy and elegant she dresses, kind of dress for success, but she's funny. Now, I would never in a million years tell the jokes that she has told because she can be pretty vulgar. But what I loved about Joan Rivers is this: she told vulgar jokes, but man, did she look elegant. She dressed for success. And I watched this documentary on her years ago. I think it came out maybe 10 years ago. And at a point in her life, she struck rock bottom. I mean, she was around my age when that happened. Struck rock bottom. Her husband had committed suicide, I believe. And then she finds out that there's no money. And now she's got to go back to work. What does she do? And I'll never forget that documentary because Joan Rivers picked up the phone and she made every single call herself to book herself in clubs. And as she said, these were slimy clubs because she was starting all over. She had been out of the entertainment world for a while, but now that she found herself broke, she had to start all over. Her tenacity, her determination, the classy way that she looked, that's what I really wanted to glean from Joan Rivers. So I put Dolly Parton's audacious confidence out there as my persona with Joan Rivers' classy looks and her ability to be funny and to be able to tell jokes. And she didn't care what anybody thought about her. And I needed a little bit of that as well. I'll never forget a therapist told me one time, this is, oh my gosh, back in the early 90s, I believe it was, that I needed to tone down, or maybe it was the 80s. It was when that TV show Dallas was so popular. She said I needed to tone down the Crystal Carrington and bring up, who did Joan Collins play? Alexis? Was that it? Alexis? So in other words, quit being a doormat, Christine, and be a little and stand up for yourself, grow a spine. That's what a therapist told me once. And I always thought about those words. I always thought about those words. If you're like that, you all know it takes a spine to be in sales. You cannot be a cupcake waiting for someone to hand you a box of tissues because you've had a bad day. You got to suck it up, buttercup, right? And that's what we need, that tenacity, that drive, that determination, that perseverance, that going that extra mile, making that one more call. And that's what it takes to succeed. So I made a list of all the things I wanted to change about myself, and the list was long. I wanted to dress classier. I wanted to be more outgoing and more inviting. I wanted to be approachable. I wanted people to know who I really were, who I am all about as a salesperson. That's what I wanted people to get to know me about. Well, they can't get to know you when you sit in your office. Back in my day, it was sitting in an office. You have to get out in front of people. Well, in this era, if you're the type that sits on the sidelines and you're on LinkedIn, but all you're doing is just watching instead of participating, how are your potential clients going to know you? How are they going to know anything about you? You become the best kept secret. That's why you've got to get out in front of your clients, your prospects, your leads, and let people know who you are. If you're shy about that, then on an index card, write out all the things that you wish you were, right? I wish I was more outgoing. I wish I was uh, um, more persistent in my sales. I wish I was more organized in my sales funnel. What are all the things that you wish you were? Then take out the word wish and put in instead, I am. I am organized in my sales funnel. I am persistent in sales. I am following up right away. Here's the number one, and I just read this. Dang it, I wish I had it in front of me. The number one thing that CEOs wish that sales reps would do, sales reps that contacted them, is to follow up. I was told once by a VP of sales, would you please teach my team how to follow up as persistently as you did with me? Following up is not a bad thing, it's a professional thing. So maybe you want to put in your index card, I am a sales professional, or I am a business professional. Now, I didn't have any desire to look like Dolly Parton or to look like Joan Rivers, other than I wanted to emulate Joan Rivers' classy and elegant dress style. But what I did want to do is add these little nuances into a new Christine persona. And when I began my business, that's why I chose the savvy sales lady. I always saw Joan Rivers and Dolly Parton as being very savvy about their business. Here, Joan Rivers is in her 70s and she lost everything. She created an empire. And it was the saddest day for me when she died, an unnecessary death at the negligence of a doctor. I just couldn't believe it. But her legacy lives on. And one person on LinkedIn asked, why do you do YouTube videos? That was her post. Why do you do YouTube videos? I think it was Vicky O'Neill asked that question. And my reason for doing YouTube videos is not only to make a difference in solopreneurs, small businesses, and sales reps' life, but it's also to leave a legacy, an online digital legacy. Chances are I'll never know my great-grandchildren. My grandson right now will be 2 years old in 2025. I doubt I'll ever meet his children, God willing that I live that long. I hope I do. But at some point, my son, his children can go to my YouTube channel and know me through my YouTube videos. So, think about using it as a way to create a legacy as well. I hope this helped you today. And I will be doing a live stream every day through the month of January. But don't forget, I will be doing the Savvy Sales Lady live on Tuesdays and Thursdays, where I'll dive deeper into sales training issues and help you solve some of those issues. If you ever want me to train on something, just drop me a note or a comment on LinkedIn or on my YouTube channel, and I'd be happy, very happy to create a training around something that you need to learn about. I'd be happy to do that. All right. So I'll see you tomorrow. So today's challenge is look at the areas in your selling professional life that you need to reinvent. Find a hero or someone you admire that you can look at and extract some traits about them that you would like to take on and develop in your professional sales life, like I did. Joan Rivers and Dolly Parton. I know that's a combination there. So I'll see you tomorrow, and hopefully it won't be third time's the charm. I'll be able to knock it out of the park the first time around. So I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you probably between 3 and 4 tomorrow. Bye-bye.